Hello everybody, and welcome to Andrew Broussard Watercolors. Today we're going to look at a truly beautiful and unique fountain pen ink, Noodler's Kung Te Cheng. Now, this ink, and I'm looking at the Goulet Pens website in the description. This one is based off of the Royal Chinese ink. It is derived from small samples that they had of that historical ink and from texts and whatnot, and it's based off of the properties of the Royal Chinese ink. So it comes in a 3-ounce bottle. I think originally it came in a 4.5 with the eyedropper, but I've only seen it on the market in the 3-ounce bottle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink up a Noodler's Konrad fountain pen. We're going to play with it on a few different types of paper so you can see what it looks like. We'll see if it smears or how quickly it dries, and then we'll apply some water to it to see how it is in regards to its water resistance. So let me get this pen inked up and we'll get started. All right, first we'll start with the Rhodia paper, and this is our Noodlers Kung Te Cheng. And if you look at it, no smearing. So it dries really quickly. And I think we saw this with the Lexington Gray as well, where it dried really fast. Right there, that was immediately after. And if we were to just, I guess, give it a few seconds and then play with it, I'm really not getting scientific here, but you can see that it really does dry pretty quick. So the only real issue you'd have to watch out for is being left-handed, and me being left-handed, I try to practice with my underwriting. Now, property-wise, let's get that down so we can talk about that. It does say it's water-resistant. And it is bulletproof and archival. Now this is the stuff that I'm really drawn to because I like anything that I do art with to have those properties. There were some not quite scientific light fastness tests that somebody had done online, and Noodler's Kung Te Cheng did really great in that regard. So it's something that I like to really know and have that property there. So that's it on the Rhodia paper. There is a little bit of feathering, but this pen is a wet writer. I'm going to bring it close to the camera just so you could really see for a moment how it looks. You might be able to see a little bit of that feathering that took place. Okay. Now, let's play it around with... This is Bockingford. And this is our Alpha Cellulose. And we'll write out Noodler's Kung Te Cheng. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it correctly. Okay, so it smears a little bit. We'll give it a few more seconds, see if it's going to smear or if it'll be pretty dry. Still have some smearing taking place. Let me make a few marks and we'll come back to this in a few and see if it smears after that. So we'll set the Alpha Cellulose on the side. We have the Rhodia paper, we'll move that out the way. Here's the Stonehenge Aqua. We had used this with the Lexington Gray. So let's say Stonehenge Aqua. And this is the Cheng. All right, we'll see if this smears this time. It seems to be doing a lot better for me. Comparatively to the Alpha Cellulose, the Bockingford, we don't have as much smearing taking place. We'll let it sit for a few more seconds, and we'll come back to that after we play around with one last type of paper. Now, oh no, I got two more. So here's some cheap paper. I didn't zoom in on the camera with this. I apologize. Let's do that real quick. Alpha Cellulose, just so you can see how it looks. I don't think there's any feathering that took place or bleeding. And the Cheng on the Stonehenge Aqua, 100% cotton. Looks pretty good. Okay. This is just cheap writing paper. Cheap. Okay. No smearing. Yeah, no smearing at all. Some feathering. This is a wet writer, like I had said, but that actually does really good. That might be better than the Rhodia paper. We're gonna have to look at those up close together. Okay, so cheap paper. This is the Strathmore. I think this is just a paper pulp. Looks like it's drying pretty quickly. Yeah, it dried pretty quick. A little bit of smearing right there, but for the most part, if I take the time to write our whole thing of Noodlers, Cheng out. I'm sure that, yeah, it's looking pretty good. A little bit of bleeding on this one. I'm gonna have to turn it sideways so I can get close. A little bit of feathering. Sorry, a little bit of feathering. I guess bleeding is when you would see it through on the other side. But I'm not too concerned about that. Okay, so that was our different papers. We wanted to go back to the Bockingford to see if it would smear. No, so it's not smearing at this point. So it just needed a few more minutes on Alpha Cellulose. And then on 100% cotton, we're pretty good, yeah. So it just needed a few more minutes, a few more seconds on that. Let's grab a little bit of water, see how that looks. I also wanted to compare it on the Rhodia and the cheap paper side by side. I'm sorry that this is kind of all over the place. They both look pretty good. I think it's better on the Rhodia. Looks good. All right, so this is if you're writing a letter and you spill water on it. I see a little bit pull up. Yeah, you have a little bit pulling up. But you're not gonna wash away what you wrote. I'll bring that up close. You should be able to see that. Okay. We'll move over to the cheap paper. So you're writing a letter. A little bit of it moving around, but you're not going to lose what you wrote. Strathmore. Once again, just a teeny bit of it lifted up and moved around. But you're not going to lose your writing. Now, here's stuff that I would actually do art on. Do art. That sounds like a weird try to create a painting or drawing on. Let's see how it works with this. Okay, this is the Alpha Cellulose. So if I was to do a sketch and then do a wash over it with watercolor, we would have some lifting take place. But to be honest, I really had to scrub at it. Let me grab another brush. I'm curious if we just pass, if we were to just wash over, like very quickly, if you just did your drawing and then you just went top to bottom. It's really not bad. We do see a little bit of water, a little ink traveling right there, and along that line as well. Let me bring it closer, see if you can catch it. Yeah, just a little bit. So this may be something that needs more time, but let's check it on 100% cotton. I feel like my brush isn't perfectly clean, and that's not cool on my part. Here we have a little bit of the ink lifting there. This may be something where it needs more time. But overall, it's not as significant as it is with the Noodler's Heart of Darkness. But this may be of concern if you do a sketch or a drawing and you want to do a wash over it. So, on that note, Noodler's Cheng, beautiful ink, fountain pen ink with some really good properties to it. We found that it dried very quickly on fountain pen paper and cheap paper. So this is a good ink for writing notes, writing letters. It does have the water resistant aspect, like it said, where if you're going to write a letter and send it off, if it gets wet, you won't lose your notes. What else can we talk about with that? In terms of art aspect, it adheres well to the 100% cotton paper and the Alpha Cellulose paper. There was a little smudging in the very initial writing with it, so it's just something to be aware of, especially if you're left-handed like me. And water resistance wise, there is some ink lifting, so it may be in terms of waiting a few more minutes than we did, or it might be something that you kind of trade off in order to use a beautiful ink like this in a fountain pen. So let me know what you think below. Let me know what you would like to see in regards to these ink reviews. I would like to do a sketch, a pen and ink sketch with this. Either I could do it as a real-time video or a time lapse. Let me know what you prefer. We can even take a brush, a Chinese brush, and play around with it the way the ink would actually have been used if it was used by a Chinese emperor. So let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe, follow, and yeah, I will talk to y'all soon. Have a great day.